At last night's Fox Business debate, you heard a number of lies and false statistics. And in this edition of Final Judgment, we're going to knock down one of the biggest. But it wasn't told by one of the Republican candidates. It was in fact told by one of the moderators, Maria Bartiromo. It's a lie about unemployment that is so obviously, clearly false, it could have come to you only by Fox.
Governor Bush, almost 40% of Americans are without a job and are not looking. Many have given up. That's what the participation rate tells us.
40% unemployment. That's a really big number. That seems crazy. It seems insane. We hear 5%, 6%, 7% over the last year, 18 months or whatever. And you can get it up to 12%, depending on how you run the different numbers. Generally, it's somewhere around 6%. But the reason that you have heard 6% and that seems to work out is that what 6% represents is the percentage of people who are trying to work, who want to work, who can't find a job. And we use that definition of unemployment because it makes sense. So what would you have to do to get to a 40% unemployment rate that she is implying is actually true there? Well, you would have to include people who aren't just trying to work and can't find a job. You'd have to include very different sorts of people. This is according to PolitiFact. Getting a percentage that high requires believing that being in high school, college, or a graduate student, a senior citizen, a stay-at-home parent, a job training participant, or having a disability is no excuse for not holding down a job or for working less than 40 hours in a week. To get to 40%, you literally have to include children, school children, high school students, people who are in college, people who are disabled, sick people, retired people. It's literally just the percentage of the population that isn't currently working, regardless of whether or not they actually want to work. It is a statistic that means almost nothing. And it wasn't thrown out casually by a Carly Fiorina or a Ted Cruz or a Donald Trump, who we expect to lie and to not fundamentally understand the numbers that they're using. It was used by a host on Fox Business. And in the hands of Fox, unemployment has been twisted not just into propaganda, but into a complete and utter fantasy. It means whatever the hell they want it to mean. It has nothing to do with the real world. Well, unfortunately for them, unemployment as a term actually does mean something. And then we use it in a very particular way for a very particular reason. And so now, on Final Judgment, I get to say this sentence that I thought I would never have to say. The unemployment rate in the United States is not 40%. And that's my Final Judgment.